Hey, welcome to Shop Talks. It's a production of the Ink Kitchen and Impressions Magazine, and these sponsors make it all possible. And so check them out. We have a YouTube channel. Subscribe to that, please. It's all free information. There's dozens of videos, including a really great one that Serge did last year or the year before. I would really urge you to check that out if you're interested in this topic, because he really got into it that time. And I'm Rick Roth from the Ink Kitchen, and Serge Ramirez is my friend. He works at Supercolor and does independent work as well. I met him. It was really amazing. We were sitting at a conference, and he showed me on his phone basically what looked like a film that he had been editing for months, and it was something he did in his phone during the conference. And so I was like, whoa, I need to know this guy. Anyway, we hit it off, and we're going to talk about effective social media in a changing media world. He's got a nice show and tell going on here. We will discuss a few things. There'll be time for questions after. Serge will hang out at the very end for shy people to come up and ask questions as well. All right, take it away, brother.
All right, cool. So as discussed, we're basically going to be going over changes to social media this year that basically have been doing well up to this point, but because of so many changes, so many new platforms, now what worked in 2023 may not work 2024. So to get started, I'm going to do a little bit of exercise for you guys. So what I want you guys to do is raise your hands if you print t-shirts. Everyone look around, all right? I want you to raise your hands if you have a fast turnaround. Look around, look around, look around. Do you have competitive pricing? Raise your hands. Look around again. So, while you're looking around, you're not offering much different than the person next to you. But there's a reason why so many people keep coming back to you. There's something about your specific business that sets you apart from the rest that keeps people coming back. And what I want you guys to do with your social media and your content is focus on that, because every other, guru and marketing educator, they'll be like, use this trending sound and use this effect with this caption and these hashtags. But at the end of the day, moving forward for the algorithm in 2024, they're now valuing authenticity more than ever.
Authenticity.
Yep.
I'm going to remember that one.
Yep. So, like I said, authenticity is going to be the new currency. So in 2024, people want to see and hear from real people. There's been so many paid ads, so many bots, so many fake reviews, and so many Facebook ads that people have been scammed by, that at this point, they want to hear from real people, and they want to hear from people that have actually bought from you, not just anyone that you've paid to talk about your business. So if they wanted to hear it from you, they'd be a buyer by now. So that being said, what I want you guys to do is turn your biggest customers into your biggest evangelists, because digital due diligence is going to be the biggest thing moving forward. Before anyone goes to a new restaurant, before anyone's using a new service, before anyone's doing anything new they've never done before, they're watching video reviews, they're looking at reviews on Yelp, they're looking at Trustpilot. They're ultimately looking at real people that are talking about their experience with the service, with the product, so on and so forth. They're not so much going to be looking at, if Kim Kardashian talked about it, because obviously she got paid millions of dollars to just say something about it that she obviously doesn't use. So moving forward, I want you guys to turn your best customers into your biggest evangelists. And the reason for that is because 92% of consumers are now turning to people that they know for referrals above any other source. In your specific market, it might be a small world. One business might know another, and they're going to be turning to one another to talk about why we want to work with this business and why you guys should go to this service. We use this printer because of this, or we use this blank because of that. Some other tidbits here is 90% of consumers say authenticity is going to be more important when deciding which brands they like and support. That's up from 86% in the last few years. 84% of consumers say they trust peer recommendations above all other sources of advertising. So you guys can run ads all day, but at the end of the day, people are going to be looking at your reviews, and they're going to be looking at what people are actually saying about their experience. And this is something that I hate to admit, because I'm producing content on a daily basis. This is what I'm paid to do. But user-generated content is outperforming my produced content 98% of the time now. And I've got Adobe Premiere, I've got Sony cameras, I've got lighting, I've got all these sorts of like fancy stuff at my disposal to create really cool content. And we do create cool content, but the moment we post a user-generated piece, that's gonna be performing anything I post every time because of that. So with that being said, I want you guys to consider that, but also consider this, that your content is competing with more than just your competitors. So you're gonna be dealing with the feed that's full of different wars going on, different celebrity scandals, the election, sports scores and news from the different leagues, from the different sports, from the different games. There's dozens of games happening every night.
There's only one that matters.
Yeah. Thirst traps, fail videos, memes that'll make you laugh, and sponsored ads from brands that aren't even your direct competitors. And lastly, your actual direct competitors. So when you want to stand out in a feed like that, what are you going to do? So what I want you guys to do is ultimately go fresh with your content. A lot of people are going to be preaching, use this sound, use this effect, do this, do that. And at the end of the day, it's turning into a social media feed that's full of carbon copies of carbon copies of carbon copies of carbon copies. And because of that, people are scrolling away past things faster than ever. Like, have you guys ever seen a teenager using TikTok or Instagram or Facebook? I'm surprised their fingers don't have a bicep. So with that, what you have to do is, instead of listening to these people about use this trending sound or use this, what you want to do is look at top performing content in your direct niche. So whether you're working with schools or whether you're working directly with fashion brands, I want you to find a page with high-performing content that you want to strive for, but don't just copy it. What you need to do is look at each piece of content and ask yourself, what's working? What isn't working? Why? And what you then do is take all those pieces of data and craft it into a newer piece of content that not just sets it apart, but uses bits and pieces that are kind of going to help it succeed. So that way, you're not just doing another carbon copy. You're making something unique that's using pieces of data that you analyzed, broke down a bit, and kind of peeled things back a layer to look at what's going to work best for you. Next, what I want you guys to do is focus on your viewer retention and engagement, because moving forward on TikTok, on YouTube, on Instagram, everywhere else, they're now valuing how long someone's looking at your stuff and how much they're engaging with it. There's free tools. You don't have to pay a single dime. As long as you're on Instagram, as long as you're on TikTok, if you're on Facebook already, this is provided for you. All you have to do is go to business.meta.com. You log in with your regular credentials, it'll pull up your page data, and you can see how long are people watching, how much are people engaging with it, and it breaks it down by content piece. So you can see, okay, so this one's doing really good, so I can look at what's working best from this content, and you look at pieces of content that aren't performing, so you go, okay, cool, so everything we did there is not doing good. So what you can do is you can maybe archive that piece of content, and maybe just start to look at and start noting things like, I shouldn't do this, that, I shouldn't do that again, I could do this again, let's try this. And ultimately, it's gonna be the data that'll be telling you if you're gonna be at top of mind or not of the algorithm. So now I'm gonna be going over things from 2023 that worked that aren't gonna be working this year. So stop doing quantity over quality. Posting over and over again every day, that's not working anymore. You guys may have noticed in the last few months that if you posted like 2 reels and 1 photo and another video, maybe one of those got engagement and the other one got like 2 likes. And you're like, well, what the hell happened there? I'm trying to stay on top of the mind for the algorithm. That's not how it works anymore. What it's now going off of is how long they're looking at your content and how much they're engaging with it. So instead of going quantity over quality, start looking at what's gonna keep people viewing your stuff longer and what's gonna make them engage with your stuff, whether it's commenting on it or liking it, so on and so forth. Another thing is stop posting the same exact thing to every platform. It may have worked, last year, but now to the point where Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, and TikTok are now operating on 3 different types of algorithms. And what's working on TikTok is now not working on Instagram Reels, and what works on YouTube is not gonna work on either one. They're all working on their own either thing, so what you now need to do is stay up to date with any changes with the algorithm and start doing what works best. For example, on YouTube, what they're doing is they're starting to stray away from YouTube Shorts. So you know how they had like the little feature come up where they're trying to be the next TikTok? Well, they're realizing there's true value on keeping people on the platform, keeping people watching. So now they're focusing on content that's long form, people that are actually commenting and liking and subscribing versus people that are just watching the shorts. Granted, there is still going to be engagement on shorts that does matter, and you can still get some really cool engagement on there, but at the end of the day, you want to keep up to date on things like that, which I will tell you a little bit more about in the next ones. Like I said, enough with the trending sounds and the challenges. You know, it may work, but it's not going to bring you the right type of eyes. If you're trying to talk to people that you want to sell to, you're going to be doing a trending sound and challenge that's going to be shown to maybe some kid who, I don't know, are they going to want to buy 300 t-shirts from you? He's 12 years old. He can't even buy one. Next is I want you guys to stop shunning AI tools. Now, I know this is kind of like a little shaky subject, but ultimately, I'm not saying fire your artist and hire Midjourney. No, don't do that. I'm not going to be here preaching about AI, this and that, but there's really cool tools that you can use AI-wise. Like there's one that's called repurpose.io, something like that. It's automatically repurposing your content for different social media platforms. There's another one, another thing that I like to do with AI is a lot of people, they'll say that things generated by ChatGPT, it's not legit. It doesn't sound like a real person. Wrong. You're just generating things not right. What you can do is say, if you want to create a blog using one of your YouTube videos, YouTube provides you with a transcript feature. So if you go into the info, underneath the info of the YouTube video, there's a button that says show transcript. You can copy and paste that entire transcript into ChatGPT, tell it, hey, use my exact words to craft a blog about this video using all the content from this transcript. It's gonna read that transcript and instantly generate you a blog that you can then use for an email, use it on your website, or even just like turn it into another piece of content.
We actually have a whole series now on In-Kitchen Fahrenheit AI. Check out the video that was this morning, which has a lot on, and we have this ongoing series about AI that you can check out on In-Kitchen for free, actually.
Yeah, so check it out. And like I said, vertical, it's just not going to be what it used to. You know, when it comes to Instagram, now they're valuing carousels, they're valuing photos again. They're realizing the true nature of what brought people to that platform to begin with, which was photos. Ultimately, that's what it started as, and that's what they're starting to favor it back to now. So you're seeing there's going to be a lot less pieces of content that are reel-oriented, and now it's going to be like more normal, like you're like seeing a lot more people from an unrelated page, but it's showing you because it thinks that you might like that. Next, I want you guys to just stop ignoring your real customers. Like I said, your biggest customers are going to be your best evangelists. I'm not saying don't use influencers, but at the end of the day, like I said, user-generated content is outperforming anything that I've produced. And if you're paying an influencer to create a produced content in which they're, name-dropping 5 other things at the same time, it's not going to produce like it used to. Like, for example, you guys remember that thing with Snoop Dogg going, I'm going smokeless. And people are like, oh no, Snoop Dogg's quitting weed? That's impossible. And then it turned out he's doing like an advertisement for a smokeless stove situation or like a fireplace. Granted, yeah, it created the buzz, but did it sell stoves? No. And they ultimately ended up firing that CEO because of that. You bought one? Well, that's one out of what? The ROI on that is like a negative. So yeah, like I said, I'm not saying ignore influencers that they're not going to produce. I'm just saying be smart with how you're putting out your content. At the end of the day, yeah.
You did miss earlier that he said he's a comedian and that he knows nothing. His own words. So there you go.
Perfect. I love it. Okay. No, yeah. Okay, got it. Cool. All right, so one of the last bits I want to go over is because Facebook, Instagram, everyone else has always been so pay to play that they want to keep people on the platform. They want you to think that the only way to generate new followers is through being paid media, which in a way, yeah, it is. But because there's so many algorithm changes that now you're going to want to focus on your organic growth. There's so many people that they stop doing organic posts, like just posting on their own, and now they're just doing paid ads all the way. And because the algorithm is shifting now back to authentic content that people are actually engaging with and watching, what you want to do is focus on an organic thing that's going to basically act as a supplementary process for what you've paid for. So there's your paid ad, and then you have your organic stuff that's going to act as what's bringing them along the journey. Because your ad brings them in, but once they come in and they say they come to your page and you're not posting a lot, there's not much on your page. You're bringing them in, yeah, you paid to bring them in, but how are you keeping them on? And that's what I'm saying is focus on your organic strategy moving forward for 2024, in addition to paid ads. And that's all I have to say about that.
That was a lot in a short time. Nice work, man. How about a hand for Serge here? So I'm going to ask a couple questions, and then we'll take questions out here.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I know you check out a lot of stuff. Who do you think's really doing a good job besides Supercolor of doing social media?
For social media, I mean, what I really like, what I've been seeing is, like I said, people that are starting to really lean into the user-generated thing. Because at the end of the day, you know, we've done commercials, we've produced, we've done stuff with agencies before. But at the end of the day, you know, our biggest shops, our users that are actually using our product is what's basically producing the most. And I'm starting to see that across the board in the industry is people are leaning into using their customers and using real people that actually use them versus just being like, hey, look at us. Hey, look, there's an influencer that talked about us, you know? But that's what I really like is like they're actually really leaning into this. And I talked about it today like as if people aren't already doing it, but I just wanted to emphasize it is that authenticity is the biggest thing now. And now other brands are starting to take notice and they're seeing that what it's generating. So even when you're seeing paid ads, you know, these days, they're not always going to be like a big produced Hollywood commercial. You see a paid ad on Instagram, it's a real person now being like, hey, I'm using this, I don't know, Stanley Cup. Yeah.
All right, I think let's go to some questions here. Who's got a question?
Yeah, any questions? Yeah.
Lady Print Boss here. Hold on, we got a mic for you.
Okay, so going back to what you were saying about social media. So for me, I'm looking for customers on social media, right? So when we talk about posting, what types of posts should I be making because we make custom shirts? What type of posts should I be making to get clients? And it's a two-part question. And to get people in the realm of people who are my ideal target market, right? And then what type of actions, because I see a lot of times I'm strolling social media and I may see something that I like, but then there's nothing there to get me to a website, or how do I turn social media into a money magnet for me?
No, yeah, absolutely. So touching on that, that's one of the biggest mistakes people do is they'll either run ads or they'll do like a promoted post, but there's no way to get a hold of them or go to a website apart from just DMing them. So end of the day, I definitely recommend getting something like a link tree. It's called Link Tree. You can put as many links as you want, like in the link in your bio. And in addition to that, just when it comes to you, like who would you say is your main demographic for custom T-shirts? Like, do you work with mainly like say family reunions or schools, or what do you think?
No,
is
so
it just a big mix?
Most of my clients are going to be companies within the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
Oh, okay, so it's a lot of corporate stuff then. Yeah, so something like that, I would say lean on a lot of your biggest customers to provide good video review testimonials that you can then supplement by also shooting content of how you're producing their material. So that can create a whole piece in which you have someone talking about the product and you're showing how you got it done.
Okay.
As long as you have permission.
Part for that.
As long as you have permission.
Oh no, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah, get
Okay.
permission from them.
Okay.
Don't just be like, oh, why do you like us? And be like, yeah, you don't.
Okay, I have one more question.
Yeah,
okay,
absolutely.
y'all, one more question. I forgot.
All right, we'll come back to
worries.
you.
Yeah, we
we'll
can come back.
We'll
Yeah,
come
no
back.
worries, no worries.
Who else has a question?
Any questions?
Oh, they're all social media experts.
I know.
This is great.
You got it?
Oh, here we go, right here.
Okay, we'll bring it back to you.
So with all the new social media and stuff coming out, what are the recommended, sites that we should really focus on? Because we only have, a certain amount of time with our shop to sit here and make this stuff and post this stuff. So we really are trying to figure out which are the social medias that are used the most right now, because I may possibly be the worst at social media ever. So that's a big thing for us is what do we use?
No worries. What would you say is your highest performing one right now? Or what is, like, do you have a focus at the moment?
We mainly just use the Instagram and Facebook, and
Instagram.
we're trying to get into using, that's one of our big focuses this year is focusing more on the social media aspect of everything.
Okay, cool, absolutely. So going back to what I was saying about AI tools, there's a website called repurpose.io. So something like that you can use to feed it a piece of content that they can easily turn into many other pieces of content, which you then can equally post on TikTok or so on and so forth, just changing it up. Because like I said, you don't want to post the same thing to every network, but a tool like that will make it easier for you to have something for each network and kind of build a bit of a following that way.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
You got it?
Any other questions?
Okay, so I've seen like all of these apps, I'm trying to figure out, because those of us that are over 50 might be a little bit slow on social media. So I'm trying to figure out, okay, what app do I use? How can I create this content quickly? Is there anything that you can tell us, like any type of particular apps that we should be using or anything like that to create our social media content?
No, yeah, there's a lot of different apps out there you can use. There's one called like I think it's called InShot. A lot of that I see a lot. It's got like a paid version, but ultimately you feed it multiple clips and it'll automatically cut to the song for you.
Is that
So there's
something
things like
you can do on your phone?
Yeah, you can do it off your phone.
Okay.
And in addition to that, there's plenty of other options you can do. Like I know Adobe Premiere, which it's the industry standard for video editing, but you don't have to be a video editor because they have like a mobile app that you can then use to edit your TikToks, edit your Instagram Reels, so on and so forth.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Other questions?
No questions.
See, I'm a Quaker. I can wait an hour in silence. I'm good.
Anyone?
Other questions? All right.
Yeah.
How about a hand for Serge?